It's Reem and Roshan once again coming to you from the Thammasat Stadium, where 4 games kicked off back-to-back today, here as well as in Songkhla. But let's first talk about the game that just ended here. Syria managed to get a win in the very last few minutes of the game. 2-1 is how it ended, thanks to the winner by Al Dali. Roshan, I mean, we've been talking so much about how great Japan is, but over the 2 games, they've lost.
Well, first of all, I think, great, fantastic result for Syria. Absolutely delighted for them, and their fans were incredible as well. A small group of them, but so much passion coming through in the stadium, trying to compete with the Japanese crowd as well. So, great result for them to sort of go home with. But yeah, I mean, coming back to Japan, I mean, the technical quality, the tactical quality of their play still for me is at a very high level, but they must be feeling almost a little bit sick to the stomach at the way they've lost the last 2 matches. They kept trying to open up the opposition in both those games. They did create chances that they should have probably scored from in both those matches. They didn't take the chances. They didn't kill those teams off. That put them on the back foot and gives an opportunity for these sides to, get themselves into a good position in the game. And that's what happened in that first match against Saudi Arabia, and that's what happened here against Syria. They were always going to look to try and exploit Japan on the counter-attack. They had the players to do that. We spoke about that. Al-Halak in the first half was also a constant threat with his pace on the left-hand side. Barakat was, again, for me, superb for Syria up front. And then they made the change. Al-Aldin Dali came in, and again his pace, blistering pace at the end. They just took him away. What a run, and then a beautiful finish past the goalkeeper to give Syria a big 3 points and send Japan packing.
Yep, so Japan though is confirmed, of course, as host nation of the Olympics. But do you think there's any regret at any point at all for the coach Mariatsu for bringing, like we said, an experimental team and not like the senior?
I don't think there will be regrets. I think he would have learned from this squad, from this selection, and looked at certain players and thought, okay, maybe they're not quite ready, to be selected in future competitions or just in the longer term. And he might have seen good performances from some of the others and thought, okay, it's something for me to think about moving forward. Yep. But this was always going to be that sort of squad for Japan. I still think their overall play is very good to watch, very easy on the eye. Yep. But there are some things that they need to probably adjust, probably address. Defensively, at times they can leave themselves a little bit too open to those counter-attacking situations. But coming to the Olympics, still a few months away, several months away, there will be bigger name players coming back into this Japanese side. So hopefully by then, for the sake of themselves, sake of their fans, they'll have all that sort of sorted out.
All right, and from the earlier kickoff here at the Thammasat Stadium as well, it ended as a goalless draw between Saudi Arabia and Qatar. I don't know about you, but there's not much to say about that match. I mean, looking at the statistics alone, 0 shots on target for Qatar and only 8 shots in total for the entire 90 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, not a great game for the neutral, or if you're the casual viewer, you want to see goals, you want to see goal-mouth action. But there was stuff to admire about Qatar. Defensively, they were very compact, very solid between the lines. They made sure that they closed off spaces for the likes of Garib to try and get himself involved in. Saudi Arabia tried to adjust to that. They tried to pull Garib out into wider areas just so he could receive, and also so you could stretch out Qatar's midfield 3. Didn't quite work out for them. Didn't quite work out for either side. Worryingly for me, for Qatar, is they look a little bit lackluster in those attacking areas. I don't really quite see what the clear tactical idea is in an attacking sense when they have the ball. Defensively, they looked okay, but they've got to go out and get goals now, and they've got to find those goals against Japan in the final game.
All right, Roshan, and this is how Group B standings look like right now. Syria and Saudi Arabia with 4 points each, followed by Qatar with 2 and Japan with none. Now, looking at the games in Group C that was played in Songkhla, first it was China versus Uzbekistan. Sorry, it's been a long day. But yeah, Uzbekistan, it ended 2-0, a comfortable win, and that brings them one step closer into the quarterfinals, and China is sent home packing.
Yeah, China, again, there'll be a little bit of frustration for China there, but Uzbekistan put in a much better performance than we saw from them in that first game against Iran. They were much better in those attacking areas. They were livelier. They created more opportunities. They actually got 2 penalties in that game. One was missed by Kobilov, one was scored by Kobilov, and eventually they came away with the 2-0 win and put them in a good position going into the last game against the Republic.
All right, and the earlier kickoff at Songkla was Iran versus Korea Republic, and Korea first team to secure their spot in the quarterfinals, as we mentioned earlier. Looking forward, though, it was the right choice, wasn't it, to do that big squad rotation with
Yeah, of
7
course. You
new
know,
players?
we touched on Korea Republic having good strength in their squad throughout and still being able to make those changes and still maintaining quality. It helped that the players came in. They were fresh, the players that came in. Made a big difference for them. Dong Jun again got himself on the score sheet, so did Cho. So, you know, happy times for Korea Republic, you know, getting through to the next round, and they'll be looking to try and continue their progression in the latter stages.
Right, and for China, even though, you know, regardless of the result of their last game, they are going back as well. But any positives they can take from this competition?
I think, you know, they've got to take a look at perhaps the fact that maybe there's not enough quality in certain areas in that squad. Positives wise, there are some talented players in those attacking positions for them. I was impressed with Yang Li Yu. I think he's got plenty of pace up front to cause opposition side some issues. But yeah, they performed, I guess, slightly better than what most people expected of them.
Yep.
But still, I think not quite good enough overall picture for them, for China.
All right, here's how Group C standings look like. Korea Republic on top with 6 points, Uzbekistan 4 points, Iran 1 point, and China with none. And I guess that wraps up our review of today's games. Stick with us as always through our AFC digital channels. Until the next show, it's Reem and Roshan signing out.